The actual switch from sports to acting was I was actually shopping for my brother for Christmas in like Rona, and a shelf load of equipment broke and fell on my foot and crushed it. So I was still playing soccer, yeah, up until I crushed my left foot. And then I didn't realize, but I actually would never go on to play professionally or semi-professionally again, because it had so much nerve damage that I couldn't strike a ball with my left foot, and there's just no way to play on one foot
Oh my God.
at that level. So that was like the end of my career. And
Mm.
before I really understood it was the end, I knew I needed to make rent. And so I was on crutches, and I'm going like, what job can I do where like I don't have to walk around that much? And then I thought, actors don't walk around, right? Like they're just sort of literally, that's what I thought. So I went on the internet, figured out how to submit myself for an audition. And I had like no materials. It says bring a headshot and resume. And I was like, oh, okay. So I had watermarked a picture of myself and then just wrote random like stuff that I'd done for work over top of my watermarked face that I had just printed from my printer. So I showed up on crutches, gave them this weird headshot
So
resume.
your resume was on your face of your headshot.
Yeah. My face, I watermarked my face. Yeah.
Okay.
Exactly. Okay. So imagine this. I'm crutching in there with this piece of paper that I've printed with myself watermarked and random things that I have done, like irrelevant to acting.
Oh my
And I
God.
handed it, and they're like, what is this? I'm like, headshot resume. I don't know. You all asked for it. And so they were like, okay, okay. Yeah. And I had my guitar along because it was for, part that had music involvement. And so I crutch into the room, and you know how there's like the T and the
Mhm.
camera and the light. And then back here is where there's the couches and all the
Mhm.
clients and producers and everybody sit. So I crutch in and I see these folks sitting there. So I sit in the seats with them, and I just, yeah, right. Literally. And I'm like, so what are we looking for today in this project? Just start having the chats. And
Who is this girl? Is she one of the producers? Is she?
her headshot resume, if that didn't throw us off, this
Oh
did, right?
wow.
So then they were like, yeah, we're kind of looking for this folk vibe. And so I started to strum a bit on the guitar, and I gave it kind of a
While
folky
you're
riff,
still sitting next to them.
having the chat with them about what they want. So we wrote the song, and then they were like, oh, do you think you can get it, like go up to the T and put it on camera? I was like, oh yeah, for sure. So I crutch over there and then sit down and do the thing. And they're like, can you teach it to somebody else? I was like, oh yeah, the next guy, I talked to them. They were great. Bring him in. And so I taught him the chords, and then I strummed the upswing. And then by that time I was like, you know what? I would love to play the violin on this. This would be so fun to have like a cool violin line over top of this. And they were like, yeah, okay, so what are you doing in a couple of days when we have rehearsal? And I was like, I'm free because here I am on crutches. I'm your girl. So they booked me in the room. And then I
Wow.
crutched out. Yeah, I crutched out from there saying, thank you. Yeah, I'll see you in a couple of days. And
What
then
was the project?
it was a Wrigley's gum commercial. Yeah. And then I crutched out, and I was just saying thank you to everybody for having me. And a producer was walking down the hallway and said, we want her in our project. And I was like, guys, I'm free. I'm totally available. So I booked 2 gigs in one day with my terrible headshot resume.
That is the coolest first audition story I've ever heard.
And weirdest, right? And so when people are like, so how did you start acting? I'm like, don't start the way I started. I would go to some classes. I'd recommend a couple acting classes, maybe a showcase,
Oh my goodness.